What's up, everyone? So we are back at it today, and we're taking a look at something that is trying to be much more than just a lens on your windshield. We're talking about the 70mm 4K Omni. Now, if you remember the original Omni from a couple of years ago, it was a cool concept but limited by its 1080p resolution. Fast forward 2 years later, and 70mm has finally dropped the 4K version, promising to be the ultimate 360-degree AI dashcam. This thing doesn't just sit there, it rotates its entire lens assembly to track people walking around your car, follows suspicious activity using AI, and essentially acts as a robotic sentry. But we're curious to find out how much of this is a legitimate security breakthrough and how much is just high-tech theater. We'll put the updated price and purchase link down in the description for your convenience. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's see how it works. Right out of the box, the main unit is surprisingly compact. It has this pill-shaped, futuristic design that we believe will blend quite well with most windshields without being an eyesore. You get the standard kit, the unit itself, a long power cable, a car charger, and those electrostatic stickers that we always recommend using so you don't ruin your tint. To get started, you've got to pop in a micro SD card. It finally supports up to 512 gigabytes, and plug in the Type-C cable. Now, the screen on the back is a tiny 1.4-inch IPS display. It looks cute and has these fun AI mascot animations, but let's be real. For actually previewing 4K footage or navigating complex menus, a screen this small is a bit of a practical issue. You're going to be doing 90% of your work through the 70mm app, which, while functional, is a mandatory step to even activate the camera. If you really want to unlock what makes the Omni, you have to talk about the installation, and it isn't just a simple suction cup. To use the 360-degree parking surveillance and the new AI Motion Detection 2.0, you absolutely need a hardwiring kit. We highly recommend the 4G hardwiring kit if you want the full Sentinel experience. The install is a bit of a process. You've got to find your constant power, VCC+, your ignition signal, ACC, and a solid ground. Once you've plumbed those wires through the A-pillar and headliner, you gain the ability to receive real-time alerts on your phone if someone lingers near your car. The 4K Omni utilizes a new dual Hall effect sensor and a magnetic positioning system, which is a massive upgrade over the original. It makes the rotation feel much silkier and more precise. Instead of just spinning blindly, it now does a much better job of actually locking onto a human target and following them for a 30-second clip. When we look at the footage itself, the jump to 4K is, without exaggeration, staggering. It's powered by the Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 sensor, which is basically the gold standard for dashcams right now. During the day, the clarity is crisp with zero grain. You can easily punch in and read license plates or street signs that would be a blurry mess on a 1080p unit. It supports 4K at 60 FPS in single channel mode, which is great for high-speed captures. However, we did notice the colors look a bit toned down with a slight bluish hue. It isn't the most vibrant image, but for evidence, accuracy matters more than pretty colors. The HDR does a solid job of balancing bright skies with shadowed road details, ensuring you don't lose the lower portion of the frame where the action usually happens. Now, let's talk about the party piece, the 360-degree rotation. You can control the gimbal manually through the app or use voice commands like shoot left or take selfie. It's a neat trick for vlogging or checking your blind spots, but to us, the real value is in the sentinel mode. When the car is off, the camera enters a vigilant state. If the AI detects a suspicious person lingering, the camera pans to follow them and lights up a red glow ring as a visual deterrent. It also has a buffered emergency recording that captures 10 seconds before an impact. Compared to traditional fixed lens cameras, the Omni catches the hit even if it happens on your driver's side door, simply by rotating toward the sound of the collision. That is a level of coverage a standard camera just can't match. However, being too smart for its own good comes with some trade-offs. The ADAS features like lane departure and pedestrian alerts are fun, but they can get a bit chatty in dense city traffic. Also, if you decide to add a rear camera, the front resolution stays 4K, but the frame rate drops to 30 FPS. To us, the most significant drawback is that the 360-degree rotation is only as good as the AI's brain. While it's much better at tracking than the first version, it can still occasionally get distracted by a passing car instead of a person at your window. It isn't a replacement for a 4-channel dedicated system, but as a single unit solution, it's currently in a league of its own. In our opinion, the 70mm 4K Omni is a masterclass in how to evolve a niche product into a professional tool. It isn't just a rotating gimmick anymore. The 4K sensor brings it into the top tier of dashcam image quality, and the AI tracking provides a unique layer of security for people who park in public lots or city streets. If you're the type of driver who wants all-around protection without mounting 4 different cameras, this is probably the most sophisticated single-unit setup you could buy. The 4G connectivity and remote live view are genuine game changers for peace of mind. Just be prepared for the involved installation and the subscription light feel of needing a SIM card for the best features. So that's the breakdown on the 70mm 4K Omni. It's funky, it's smart, and it finally has the resolution to back up its robotic personality. We'll be keeping this on our windshield for a while to see how that supercapacitor holds up in the summer heat, but for now, it's one of the most impressive security upgrades we've seen this year. If you've been on the fence about the original Omni, the 4K upgrade is the version you've actually been waiting for. Other than that, we hope you all have a simple day. Peace.